All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is 1:07 p.m. Eastern Time, August 2025. And we're like a little pennant here on a 5-minute chart. Came up, came back down, maybe like a bull flag is forming. Let's see what we got here in a 5-minute chart. Not much, but we're pretty much inside this candle. Um, we really need to see some volume on the cumulative delta. We're low. High time frame, we may go rise a little bit more. We are probably going to be consolidating somewhere in this area since we made a couple of new highs up here. So it seems to reason that, we need to figure out where the strong hands are. Right now it's 1 o'clock. Folks are coming back from lunch. Got some positive delta divergence. Delta is still becoming more negative on the delta, but you got some buyers that are coming in with a little bit of strength now. True. Very difficult to tell. A lot more you got more offers than bids here. We did have a lot more buying up to this end. A lot of selling right here where we're just kind of hesitated right in here. The offers are holding pretty firm, actually. You got sellers hitting the offer, sellers hitting the offer. We did bid up. Offered back down. You got 100, you got 72, 65. These numbers are smaller, generating. Definitely two-way trading here. See if this number comes down. You got negative, so they're starting to sell it. So I'm going to go long right here, 350. Do that little sell, and then came back in. Sold it here. They're selling it. Selling it. Let's see if they're bidding higher. This could go either way. I feel that we're going to go up. We'll see if they start padding these bids below, show a little bit of support. 110, see if they're starting to buy up in here. They did. 110, 115, 114, 117. Looks manipulative. See if these numbers start decreasing or if they're going to start adding. 27, 31, 28. Yep, they may start lifting. They're starting to lift them now. Just got another buyer that came in, or seller. This is looking good here. That's looking good. That's looking good. We're not going to take a loss. All right. I expect a pullback because we just went above the high. Hit a new high. Can't get greedy. A lot of volume here. See these numbers here? Unsubstantial. So at 50, 75, normally you would see these at like halves, like at the half or at the even numbers. Right, half numbers are even numbers. You normally would see that. Just we got all that volume here. Abnormally. Abdominality? I don't know what that is. They come up with these names. Not normal. Not the normal behavior. So now it is. Now it's starting. They're starting to build more volume up in here. Hey, sewer rat, what's up? Oh, there was a guy in hello, we there? Person in chat. Now he's gone. All right, so what we basically have here is just accumulating. This is a good view here. You see right here, these last they're just buying and selling, just buying and buying. We'll see they buy, and then let's see what kind of sellers come in. They start selling, so they're accumulating. The numbers are substantial. They're. Now see if this number comes up. But we're not really making the gains. We're really not moving as high as we need to do. Now we're going to see what kind of manipulation is going to happen at this high. We want to see that. If you take a look at the candles that have the heavier tops on, or not the candles, but the volume profile, you see how you got very small amounts of liquidity and then big liquidity on top. Smaller liquidity, bigger liquidity on top. And then this was just a rest. I mean, uh, all that buying came back down. Now we made another high. It's starting to build. So a lot of buyers started coming in here. Pretty bullish candle. So if we could finish above, so right here is where we started to drop. Yeah, this is the volume. See, just very small amounts of liquidity here. Now, if we take a look at this candle, and this is the 5 minute, I'm on the 5 minute here. We see where the value area, where the most volume is, and it's true because it's the same candle. So if this is telling me the aggressiveness in the market in the delta, all right. So we do have a lot more volume. We did come up, and we have a higher delta value. All right. So I'm looking at 350 even, and we're pretty much at the high right now. So anytime you're at the high, there's always a chance that the stickiness, within a couple of ticks, 7 ticks, really depends on the text. But what I find, like right here, we don't have any. All these auctions are finished, so except this one, but we're not done with the candle yet. Um, halfway in the candles here. So even though we have this negative delta, but we're staying in a higher range of the candle, this is still, to me, it's bullish. The cumulative delta is coming up a little bit on the 1 minute candle. The 5 minute candle, yeah, we're still holding a little higher range. I'd like to see it come up a little bit more, but it's nothing crazy. Still looks good. Uh, this is a little concerning, where you have 15-minute candles just going up, but still the CVD is lower. All right. This is making the high, this is low. But I'm not looking at the 15. I'm not looking to hold overnight. But it's nice to know, that what the CVD is longer term. When I mean longer term, I'm talking 10 minutes. These candles are 15-minute, a 5 minute, or 1 minute. So we're building, building some value in here. If you take a look at this right here, for your visual folks, right there. Now, if you have an assumption that the market, what happened here, is going to go higher, all right? You got a lot of people with cold feet. They don't want to go, and they don't want to take the chance of going for a breakout here. I don't blame them. Especially when it started selling off right inside here. And they're building, another point of control here. So you get a lot of volume up in here. There's a lot of volume at 350, which is right here. So could we lean on any of these offers? You got 249 here at 3150. 3150 is right here. 225 is 49, right? So if you take a look at your risk reward, I got a 10 tick risk, right? So 10 tick risk is 2.5 points. Puts me up about here. Took an entry. I'd still be okay, staying above primarily what I think supported. Well, just moved. They moved the bid. 67, Then you got 244 here. So let's see what happens out here. I mean, it's closer to this number than down here. Take a look if they're pulling or stacking here. Now 3150, it's right up in this area here. So this actually closed of the value area. So this is still a bullish candle to me. Even though you had the little negative delta, it's bullish in the sense that I'm looking for longs here. So this is not concerning to me. I'm not going to be taking a short here unless this candle closes below the value area. That's just one way of looking at it. I take the 1 minute candle, see it closed below as well. So see if we make our way above. Like right in here, you have a lot of volume. It's going to be hard to get through all this volume. A lot easier to go up. You see the volume is smaller here? But being that we are getting blowing through these levels here, sellers didn't have too much of a problem bringing it down here. All right, so that's context. This is what you need to look at. This is what I look at. All right, we do got some selling imbalances here as well. But if we look left, I mean, right here, there's a lot of price action. I wouldn't go that far back here. Finished auctions. This is possibly going to be a finished auction. Right here is unfinished. Right here is finished. CVD has come down a little bit. You know, it is. We got the high here, but we're not making a higher here. Possibly see him, and the volume's pretty low. So, I mean, the volume's not going to lie. So we may come back down. Okay. I'm looking at the CVD, which is the cumulative delta, and this resets every day. My every session, it'll or every day session, it'll reset. So we're getting on the 5-minute chart. We're getting a little bit more consolidation up in here. You see, dropping, but we got a little consolidation in here as well. We have the low of the candle here, and the low of the candle here. Look, I'm looking on this chart here. Now I'm back to the volume profile. Now you always got to think about this. You got to think about the strong hands if they're accumulating at certain levels. So when you see levels like this, these big levels, 2,000 and better than 3,000, 2,000 here, they were accumulating up here, right? So do I want to be short here when they started accumulating? They're buying at these high delta numbers, you know, these high delta numbers, they're buying. So they're already buying. They got this much to manipulate you with if they bought down here, 4,000s up in here. Yeah. You got a little bump right here that's starting. This little bump at 50.75, which is right here. That's a lot of volume in here. They're buying this. $428 delta, that's a big number. $860 delta, that's a big number right here. 139 on the 141. So they're starting to pad this up. Take a look at this big number. Take a look at this this number here. 139, 138. They couldn't have their orders on the books? Yeah, they could. They could pump this up. Or they could actually take these numbers off. Then it's going to look like something that you may want to move into. So you got to look at the bigger numbers and just keep track of them. 139, 136, both of these are the same. Let's see if it comes down. 149, let's see if this comes down to 136. 138, see if that comes up to 138. See if they add two more here. 147, so they're adding. Sitting here thinking that this may be the point that comes down. So I'm not looking at this number as much as I'm looking at anything that comes back up. If we could absorb any of this price action here. We had a lot of buyers coming into the market here, and they're padding this up. You see this? They're starting to pad this one up. 149, 139. Doesn't mean anything. They could pull it. This is just sitting in the book. They could pull it. They could add. This is what this number is doing. They just took out 6 at 37. They added 1, it's 38. They took 38 minus 3, and then they added 1. See how this works? 32, that's negative 4. Now you have 47. 37, they just added and they took out 10. All right, they removed another 4 from there, 33. Let's see what happens. Took 2 out, it's 32, 31. You see? Take a look at this number. This is a little too fast to really look at. You could, you know. So you got 4, came back, and they dropped 3 down. They dropped down 3. This is where you had buyers. Buyers rejected that. You had buyers here came in and still pulled down. So you got strong sellers sitting here. See if this number increases. They're continuing to add the limits. There you go. Stop there for 105. Now they're coming over here and see if these limits start increasing. There's going to be a little bit of a battle. So they stayed here. Yeah, they're taking it down. Now where was the big number? The big numbers were here. 427, 440, 47. I want to see what happens here. Does this number become less negative? If it does, we may see a pull up, which our eyes need to come back here again. All right, over same candle being produced. All right, you had a pretty bullish candle here. Because, I mean, it was a little high up in the the food chain here, but where do we call support? Is there a support that we need to be looking at? These are all things you got to look at. It seems overwhelming, but if as you do this, you'll pick it up. No, it's an auction. It's an auction, right? Two-way auction. Hopefully, it's two-way auction. So they're just starting to build this up a lot. Right in here, 49 even. And there's nobody that did any trading here at 49 even, which is right here. On the delta, it's pretty neutral. It's at 0, -1, -5. All right, what happens to this delta? 89, -89, -90, -86, 95. Then it came up. All right, -188. All right, what's happening here? They're adding. They just added a bunch right here. The delta didn't come up. They're adding and removing. Nothing happened. There's nothing happening here. They just dropped. That was fast. They just started dropping it up in here. Now we're going up. Since they're pulling these offers. Now look, take a look at the 81. Does this number come up? It's just staying there. All right. Does this number come up, or are they going to drop that? Numbers coming up very, very small. We got 1s and 2s here. What's happening here? 1s and 2s. They're adding 16. They just took 17 out. They added 15. They just took 17 out. You see what 17 is just reloading? So now buyers are like, all right, what am I going to do? Am I going to go long? Or am I going to go short if I want to get into the trade? I say sit on your hands until you see something consistent. All right, these are the weak hands that are coming in here, and they're going to get clobbered. So I'm definitely not looking for longs right here. Look at all these imbalances below. I mean, unfinished auctions. Where would be a good place to short? Would it be in this candle here? Can we get high with significant numbers? I don't know. We got to look. I don't have a crystal ball. I mean, 49.25. This is the place where I would look to be short, right here. And I got my finger on the trigger. Even, anywhere within this range. See if where the positive delta goes here. All right. Now you see that the way it just moved up a little bit here? Let's go see what these numbers look like. Take a couple of ticks above or below where right now and see what happens. Like 121, 127, 138. All right, so they started building it in here. All right, they started adding these sell orders in here. So what does that tell you? Let's see what they're doing here. Are they adding or subtracting here? Now, I'm looking for a short somewhere about 49 and a quarter. All right, this is the high at 52 even. Primarily had sell-offs there. The accumulation also would be in the right up in here from 46.75 to 52. So 46.75 or 47 even will be a short for me. Somewhere in that area. 47 even, somewhere here. That would be a longer term trade for me. I would ride that if it went that low. You got to be patient. You just got to be patient. See, these numbers in the volume isn't significant. You're getting 3, 2, 1, 8, 5. Working these two numbers right here. They're working the 50 even and 49 three quarter. All right. It did come down a little bit, you know, 39.25. Um, Now you take a look at this candle here. Really wasn't much. You had a lot of selling here. It was a lot of selling. You had selling here. You had selling here, then the buyers just took it up just a little bit. Now, if this was if this hammer candle was below, that's a pretty bullish candle. And this kind of is a bullish candle, but in the context, of where the high is and relative to where this candle actually opened, which was here, really wasn't much. You did have buying and selling, so there was a lot of buying and selling in here. Remember, it came down this low, right? And then look to the left. You had a lot more buyers come up in. So that's where it ended. Now sellers started coming in. If you take a look to the left, you had a lot of selling here, right? Where did it end? It ended here where the buyers started coming in. These are all things you got to look at. So do we have a support area here? It seems to me that we do. It's 48.75. So that's a level I want to look at. I want to look at that level. I want to see how they're going to respond at that level. This level doesn't matter to me. There's a lot of selling here. So do we break that level of support that we think there is support at? All right. Right now, the value area moved up. Doesn't mean it'll continue. I'd be a seller at 49.25, but it needs to come down below it. Okay, with considerable volume, come back up, and then see the sellers start coming in. It's got a bunch. See what happened here? We got a lot that came in right here. Now I want to see some buying. I want to see some buying to about 39. So they are buying it here. But I want to see buyers start coming in here and then the big money start taking them out. Okay, that's what I want to see, which could still happen even after this run. We've established that we had a decent support at 49. Okay. So they can start bringing that back up again. But I'd be bearish here. I mean, I'm candle. I'm not bullish on this candle. I'm still thinking down. 39, 38.75 would be, this is where I want to be, right here, 38.75. Can I get, a 0.5 out of it? We got sellers in here. Got some volume up in here. Pretty neutral, 49.75. Now we need to see them start hitting the bid, hit the bid, see some aggressiveness. Again, some passive orders. So we do have a little bit of that. There you go. It's starting to come down a little bit here. Now we got to see these numbers here start increasing. Get to increase with it, and it did. You see how many just added here? Absorbing here. Whatever sell orders are coming in, you have a buyer here that's not playing with the order set. Then they may give it up. So you want to see these increase. You want to see green here, adding. Here's 17. They just hit. They started adding it. 22, 17. This is a big deal right here. This 750. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna take that. Let's get out of that one. Assumption was right again. That we were going to go a little lower, but we're not really getting the volume that I wanted. So I got out. Got out with a profit. That's scalping. It's hard. Scalping isn't easy. 34 minutes on this. I think I'm just going to get ahead, and there's a lot of educational value in this. We were able to take a trade. You've seen what my thought process was. We got in. It'd be nice if we could make a lot more on it, but trading, we're still in that area where we traded. Do I want to be in this up and down movement? Not really. Now, if it dropped down all the way, then I'd feel bad. I won't have a tear in my eye, but I'd feel bad. I wouldn't. No emotion. Treat it like a business, all right? Anyway, we're up today now. So I'll leave this video here before it becomes 10 hours. I've got 35 on this video. If you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, share. When I say share to your social media, share with a friend, share with a fellow or female friend. And yeah, I have a Discord that whenever I'm trading, I have the chat going. So, hey, join the chat. We'll have a little chat and have it running. So when I'm talking, you'll know I'm on a trade because I'm talking to the screen. I'm talking to you. All right. So you'll know and just hang out there. And then when I'm off, we'll we'll have a little convo. I did have one person come in and then he split. So also have a Facebook group that I'm trying to get off the ground. I had it at 2019, and then I gave it up because it was a management nightmare because it was a public group. Yeah, it's a private group. So if you fight, I will make you part of that group, and I'll start posting to that. In the Discord as well. Join the Discord. All right, all free stuff. All free. I enjoy doing this stuff. Trading's been good to me, and trading's been good. That's about it. See you on the next one.